Good morning. How you be? I be good. A quote from Pastor Joe L. Fisher. So, um, this is my last day probably posting because um I'm in fifth place and I don't think I can go to the next round um because the five has passed. So the last round was the top five. So I probably won't be posting again for a while. Um, but I just, you know, um, needed to let off some steam yesterday. I got upset, you know what I'm saying, because, I was having problems at home. As you know, I'm going through a divorce. And, I told my husband that I needed help with bills. And he told me that I have to work more. Well, he knows that there's some issues going on at my job. He knows that. And I feel, disappointed because, you know, I went 2 months without paying my car note over the summer. And, now I'm like, I can't pay all my bills. And he's like, I don't know what you're going to do. So I'm like, really frustrated, and so that's why yesterday I was kind of like going off and like putting everything out there, like, I'm going through a bunch of stuff and I'm not keeping, what I'm saying, not keeping it all to myself because it bothers me to keep it all to myself. I am a counselor, but when I went to counseling, I went for, financial issues, and they totally twisted it all up into childhood issues. And I'm like, I'm a grown woman with children. Are you kidding me? I did not come for that. I want financial stability. That's what my movie is about. That's what my issues is about. And why are you trying to, you know what I'm saying, create issues where there's no issues? You know what I'm saying? I'm not stuck in the past. That's not how I live my life. It makes no sense. I know some people get stuck, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a counselor. I'm a licensed counselor. I need employment. I have showed you on YouTube how to deal with, you know what I'm saying, getting unstuck. I made an example with nobody's child. You know what I'm saying? I know how to do my job. You know what I'm saying? And I can do it very well. They're playing games. They're trying to make excuses for why they would not let me be a school counselor. And they're playing with me. Now my title is participant. If you want me to show you, I can show you. I am not a substitute teacher. I'm a participant. That's what my title is at Buffalo Public Schools. You know what I'm saying? This is not a joke. This is nonsense. So let me tell you. After I got the surgery for cancer last year, the end of last year, I still continue to get the periods. So I went and got the IUD. I'm like, you know what? I'm not playing these games. I need to work. I want to work. And teachers would make stupid comments like, "Oh, she's gonna take care of five people's periods," and stupid stuff like that. That was a young art teacher in Sweet Home at a Sweet Home school. I'm like, lady, like, you don't even know me. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing about me. You're just being ignorant. You know what I'm saying? I came here to do a job. I'm trying to help a student. Stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody got time. But, they told me I couldn't come back after that. And because another teacher, was telling the students not to listen to me. She was like, it's not time yet. Go back to class. And that was that it was a specials teacher. I don't know. I don't remember. I think it was art too, a different art teacher. I don't know. but a special, I was taking my class to a special. And sometimes you go a few minutes early and you just wait in the hall. Well, she was like, oh no, you can't wait in the hall. You know what I'm saying? And, some classes take a little bit more time, to get there and get it together and all of that. So I leave a few minutes early. I've been doing this for 14 years. You're not going to tell me how to transition my classroom. So 2 students, one boy and one girl, went back to the classroom when she said that. And I'm like, that's your business. That's your responsibility. So I told the principal, I'm like, I'm not responsible for other people's decisions. We were in the hall. I did not give anybody permission to leave. A little boy and a little girl went back to the room, and those were the only 2 that went. And I'm like, I'm not going to be responsible for whatever happened in the classroom. I'm not. She's not going to tell me what I'm going to do, and I'm 47 years old. So, you know what I'm saying? There has been issues, you know what I'm saying, with little kids because of stupid stuff, like this. And I'm like, no, you're not going to tell me how to keep my children safe. I've been doing this for 14 years. This is what I do. And if you don't pay me, you know what I'm saying, to keep them safe, then I don't know why I'm here. They was mad because the kids was complaining that they had to stay in their seat. How else am I going to keep them safe and I don't even know their names? They want to go back and forth to the bathroom all day and all this nonsense. No, that's not how I do things. So if you tell me I can't come back, that's your, that's your business. You do what you want with your students. That's your school. You're the principal. Do what you got to do. So that's why I can't go back to Sweet Home because, they couldn't micromanage me. I'm like, look, you cannot treat me like a child. It's not happening. For $125 a day, you better go have a seat. So then, like I said, when I came back to Buffalo, the last school I signed up for did the same thing. They're like, you know what I'm saying? Go over here, sit right there, do this. I'm like, no, that's not how I work. You know what I'm saying? I don't work like that. First of all, you're not going to tell me, you know what I'm saying, that I have to sit down. And you're not going to tell me that I'm a one-on-one. I'm not a one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Do that with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So after I posted yesterday, oh my goodness, after I posted yesterday, I got another period. And like I said, I have the IUD, you know what I'm saying? And I have, and, you know, when I first, went to my primary and told her I had 3 periods in a row, most of the month, she was like, oh, um, I need you to go over to see such and such. So I was in Hamburg, you know what I'm saying, and they sent me to someone else. This fool ended up, I didn't know what he was doing, so I just listened. This fool gave me 5 different STD medications. I'm like, yeah, how is that gonna help me? And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, I had got the surgery for cancer and that didn't help, you know what I'm saying? So now I have the ID. And this is a whole year later. And this is November again. And I'm getting out of Buffalo. I love y'all, but I'm getting out of Buffalo. This is foolishness. You know what I'm saying? They want to make money off of people instead of supporting people to make money. And I'm not scared. I'm not scared. This is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not scared to tell you, you know? And they can do with it whatever they want to. You know what I'm saying? They could make my head hurt, whatever they want to do. I don't care. I don't care. They could make me bleed, half bleed out. I don't care. God is with me. I'm not afraid. I don't live in fear. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in Buffalo, so I already know what's up. So vote for me. you know. Um, this is the normal way of taking up for a situation. Just, promote and support. This is how I do things. So, of course, now because of the cancer on my, you know, medical records, I can't donate blood. Of course, you know that. I can't donate blood. I can't help anybody. I can't save lives. They wanted to, you know, mess with every detail. They're like, oh no, we don't want her donating blood no more. Oh no, we don't want her, you know what I'm saying, to be able to work no more. Okay, well then my husband is going to have to take care of me. My husband is going to have to, um, you know, pay alimony for the rest of my life if I can't work. You know what I'm saying? So do what you got to do because, you know what I'm saying? If I can't go to work because, of safety, make sure that I'm taken care of then. Take care of me and make sure, you know what I'm saying, that I don't have to work to have my house and car and bike.